The digital clock on the desk glows a sharp, unyielding 3:14 a.m. Outside the window, the city is draped in a heavy, indifferent velvet of night, wrapped in a silence so absolute it feels almost suffocating. Inside, the only sound is the rhythmic, mechanical clatter of keys beneath tired fingers and the low, steady hum of a desktop computer casting a pale, ghost-like blue hue across an exhausted face. To anyone looking in, this is the picture of fierce dedication, the embodiment of a relentless work ethic in a world that never sleeps. But beneath the surface of this manufactured productivity lies a quieter, much heavier truth. This is not about ambition, nor is it about deadlines or career milestones. This is a deliberate, silent exile. The glowing screen is not a tool for creation, it is a shield, a barricade erected to keep out the ghosts of unhealed wounds that only emerge when the noise of the day finally fades away. For hours, the mind has been trapped in a relentless loop, calculating metrics, drafting reports, and solving professional equations with a chilling, automatic precision. It is an intricate dance of control. When the chaos inside the chest threatens to spill over, when the memory of an old betrayal or a sudden, unannounced loss presses against the ribs like a blunt instrument, the instinct is not to cry or scream, but to open another tab, to assign oneself another task, to demand more from an already depleted physical shell. Work becomes a cage, and the busy hands become the wardens. There is a peculiar, bitter safety in exhaustion. When every muscle aches from sitting too long, when the eyes burn from staring too intensely at pixels, and when the brain is so thoroughly fried that it can no longer form a complete, independent thought, there is simply no room left to feel. Pain is crowded out by deadlines. Grief is buried beneath spreadsheets. It is a subtle, socially acceptable form of self-harm. Society praises the late nights, the dark circles under the eyes, and the caffeine-fueled stamina, mistaking desperation for discipline. No one questions the person who works until dawn, they applaud them. And that applause is precisely what makes this trap so seductive. It rewards the avoidance. Every completed task feels like a tiny, microscopic dose of control injected into a life that feels fundamentally broken and unmanageable. If everything else has slipped through the fingers, relationships that withered, trust that was shattered, dreams that mutated into disappointments, at least this document can be finished. At least this inbox can be cleared to zero. It is an attempt to earn the right to exist through relentless labor, as if rest were a luxury that must be purchased with suffering. Yet, as the hours drag on toward the inevitable dawn, the illusion begins to fray at the edges. The cursor blinks mockingly against a blank space. The body rebels, sending waves of nausea and a bone-deep chill that no amount of hot coffee can chase away. In these quiet, suspended moments between one keystroke and the next, the armor cracks. A terrifying stillness creeps into the room. Without the clatter of the keyboard, the silence becomes deafening, filled with the echoes of things left unsaid and apologies that never came. The realization flickers in the dark like a dying candle. No amount of overwork can outrun a broken heart. The tasks are infinite, but the soul is finite, and it is starving. It is starving for gentleness, for permission to simply be broken without having to fix it immediately, and for the terrifying vulnerability of sitting in the dark and letting the tears fall without a spreadsheet to justify them. The cursor continues to blink. The clock edges closer to 4. The hands hover over the keys, trembling slightly, caught in the perpetual war between the urge to punish and the desperate, aching need to finally lay down the invisible stones carried for so long. The screen remains bright, but the room feels colder than before, exposing the hollow space where a life used to be, waiting quietly to be reclaimed from the ash of endless productivity. You didn't stay up late to finish the work. You stayed up late to avoid being alone with yourself.